The story begins with this huge creepy door. These things were known as gates and they appeared all over the earth. Monsters started pouring out of these things. Humans were not prepared for this disaster. These monsters were also immune to all the guns and weapons of humanity. Most of these things were called as underworld creatures because of their bizarre looks and appearances. As they went on rampage all throughout the earth, a new hope appeared. Doors with different colors became the beacon of humanity. These were called doors of trials. The humans who were able to pass through the door of trials were considered as the chosen ones. They were also known as the players. These people appeared at the same time as the sudden appearance of the gate, and one after another, they started to defeat the monsters. Humanity has also adjusted to how the gates work. Each of these things have some timers on them. When the time reaches 0, it means that underworld creatures will start pouring out again. The group of players called Sky Clock assured everyone that they will do everything to prevent this from happening. They really have become the heroes of the people. But not all players could clear these gates. Some of them still failed to exterminate the monsters. The consequence of failing was that all of the monsters inside that gate will have the ability to get out of it. Amidst all of the chaos, one man stood on the top of the building and observed the situation. This man with a rainbow aura around him was Arik Subaru, and he's one of the players. This guy right here was our main character, and he commanded the monsters to stop. The people who had been running from the dragon noticed him. They immediately recognized our MC. You could see the relief in their eyes as this player appeared right in front of them. Among all the players in the world, Arik Subaru was considered as the only one who managed to get through a rainbow door. And this gave him unimaginable power that separates him from the rest. In just a blink of an eye, this overpowered MC killed the dragon, and he had done this with just one attack. This was a man who sits at the summit of the world. People all hailed his name as their savior. This kid even told his mom that Subaru was so cool and he wanted to grow up just like him. Subaru heard this and gave this precious smile of his. After that, he went off and said his goodbyes to the crowd. This was the primary role of the players. They were the ones who protected humanity. After climbing up at the top of this building, someone greeted Subaru. These ones were the Sky Clock, the players who were also considered as the strongest. An elf wearing a black robe commended our MC, and they once also teased him for being so popular. This guy can't believe that he was now being recognized by everyone. Not long ago, he was being treated like an insect. Subaru remembered his bitter past. This mighty hero was once this helpless guy, but right now, things have changed. He is now the one who leads humanity on clearing these gates and preventing their extinction. And all of these started when he entered this rainbow door. A little throwback on when it all started. This said door appeared right in front of him. Subaru's face was all beaten up, and he tried his best to reach for this one. The bullies who made his life miserable tried to stop him from entering this one. They even wanted to kill our MC, but in Subaru's perspective, this was the second door of trial that appeared in front of him and he can't let this one slip away again. His legs were already gone, so he had to crawl towards this door. He was determined not to make the same mistake again. Subaru was successful in opening the door. He then immediately entered as his life was on the brink of death. This right here was the face of someone who's tired of being treated as an insect. He was determined to get back all the things that he supposedly had. A few years back, before Subaru got the rainbow door, he was busy watching the news with his brother. The one who was being interviewed that time was a gold player named Hirosaka Renji. Our MC was just 15 years old at that time and he became a fan of this gold player. Meanwhile, his brother named Arik Tega was just 13 years old. He got this not-so-nice attitude towards Subaru. It turns out, these two were not really related by blood. They were step-brothers. And Tega hated this idea. Back to the news. The reporter was telling everyone about the gate that run out and it released the underworld creatures causing 16 casualties. They also informed everyone again that the gates have some timers in them and if those ran out, monsters will be pouring out of it. Renji then explained that the only way to prevent this from happening was that players should clear the gates. The incident yesterday was not supposed to happen if someone just reported it to the players, although it was stopped immediately by Renji. He single-handedly fought all the monsters. The reporter tried praising this hero, but Renji was still not happy with how things turned out. Some lives were still sacrificed. Renji then addressed everyone who were watching the news that if a gate was discovered, they should immediately report this to the authorities. He assured everyone that all the players in the world were willing to risk their lives just to save humanity. This statement made our MC's face brighten up. He thought that the players were so cool. The reporter then asked Renji what kind of person can be selected as a player. This gold player then told everyone that the Door of Trials chooses those with brilliance in their soul, ones who were strong enough to sacrifice their lives. Taiga laughed as he heard this statement. He was not buying it, but as he turned his head towards Subaru, he saw something. His step-brother's face was looking at something shining. A gold door appeared right in front of them. Subaru thought that this was the Door of Trial that Renji was talking about, and if he could pass the test inside, he could also become the hero that the world needed. Subaru reached for the door, but he was interrupted by Taiga. His brother pushed him away. Subaru was caught off guard. He can't believe that his brother did something like this. With this kind of face, Taiga apologized to Subaru as he will be taking this one for himself. Our MC tried to stop him, but it was too late. Taiga took the golden door. 3 years later after the incident, we could see a guy who was trapped in this web-like thing. This was our MC. He was now 18 years old. Right now, he was being bullied by these guys. He was trapped on this web-like thing and rocks were being thrown at him. Subaru can't do anything about this, but as this guy was about to throw another rock at him, he heard a familiar voice. It was from Taiga. And this was what he looked like right now. Subaru then remembered what happened 3 years ago. Taiga came out from the golden door that he stole from our MC. It meant that he managed to survive and pass the test. This made Taiga the youngest gold player in Japan. Ever since that day, this one hated his older brother. He can't accept that he was related to someone who was being bullied by copper players. Taiga then borrowed the stone from this blue-haired bully. He held the stone and his hand started to glow. A bright ray of light was then seen along the area. The pressure was enough to make everyone scared. This guy just used his skill called Golden Arm. It was also known that this skill rivals the Golden Sword of Hirasaka Renji. And right now, our MC started crying. He knew that this move was targeted towards him. Taiga positioned himself and gathered enough power, and after a few seconds, he threw the stone towards our MC. The stone passed by like it was a meteor. Luckily, it missed Subaru. It barely hit him. The force of a small stone was also enough to clear all the clouds in the sky that day. And because of this, Subaru peed on his boxer shorts. Taiga smiled and walked away. He then told the bullies that they could do anything they wanted. They could even kill his brother and he wouldn't care at all. With that, these guys continued their games. The other students who had seen this incident didn't even try to stop them.